Hi everyone. Hope you're doing well. Let me check to make sure. Yeah, we have sound going, live streams going on, and I'm gonna put this down that way. Is this thing on? Yeah, I hope so. Can you hear me? I hope so. The sound's coming out of here. I wonder. Yeah, we're streaming. Welcome. Yep. How's it going, dude? Doing well, man. Doing well. Hey, Elk. Right on, man. Excellent. Thanks for popping by, man. I was hoping you'd pop by. I was gonna put out a thank you out to you for giving me the sort of help I needed to be able to clean the albums, right? Because it worked like a charm. It was easy. And for those of you yeah, record time, just to get everyone caught up, I've been in contact with Elk Production Pictures, Elk's Pride Pictures, through YouTube, and I knew he was into listening to records and stuff. And when we got the record player set up, I looked at some videos of how to clean the records before playing them, because I didn't want to do any damage to the player or the records. And there was like a lot of intricate stuff, but I contacted Elk Pride and asked him how he cleaned his stuff, and he told me really quickly he just does like a spray if they're really dirty, and gives them a wipe with a nice little fiber cloth thingy. If they're dirty, if they weren't dirty, he would just give them a wipe with the cloth thingy, and it worked like a charm, and I was able to go through a few records. Okay, so thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. Hi, coming through fine. Awesome, awesome. I'm glad the sound is coming up well. Just to give everyone a heads up, I'm not sure if you can hear it, but you will be able to hear it. It's really windy here. It's really stormy here. Things are blowing around everywhere, and I've heard some sirens going. So if the power cuts, my apologies. We'll pick up at another time with the live stream. Hopefully the power won't give out. Hopefully the winds aren't going to knock anything over. Okay, I just wanted to give everyone as a little heads up, just in case we lose the power, just in case the stream gets cut off all of a sudden. Okay, as usual, let me give you a lay of the land again. I have my monitor set up here, the computer set up here. That's where I'm going to read messages. This is the camera we're looking through. I got the mic set up here. Okay, so hopefully you can hear the whistling outside with the wind, right? Hopefully the humming from the computer is not going to bug the mic, and I don't think it should. The distance is becoming further and further, right? I'm doing my setups, and as I promised, what I want to do is basically show you guys what I've been listening to for the last couple of months, as far as albums go, as far as records go. And what I did was, when we moved to this location, like I guess 2 years ago, I sort of built this shelf you see behind us, and I built them for books and stuff, and slowly the albums started making their way to us, right? Some of the records, and we've got basically two shelves of albums there. There's one there and one down here. Okay, and they're about this wide, and it's sort of a 3 different collections coming together, and about a third of it was mine. So what I did, as soon as we got the record player set up, oh, I should take off the sign, by the way. Start shortly. We've started, right? As soon as we set up the record player, I started going through the albums and taking a look at what I had specifically, what made it with me through multiple moves, right? And this is the third that I had there, was basically a huge chunk of the collection that we had as a family that made its way to me. I didn't have too much more. I'm pretty sure we lost some along the way, but I wasn't a huge record collector. I had a lot of tapes and stuff, right? And then the rest of it is other collections that have come together, right? And what we did recently in the last, I guess, 3 weeks or so, there's 3 boxes here on the ground, this and the blue box there, and that has made it to us as well. And I had a chance in the last like 3 weeks to go through those 3 boxes, and I played some of the albums. So I have another stack here that I've pulled out of this collection, and this collection is fantastic, like a music lovers collection. It's the collection coming to us from the same place that the record player came, right? And the record player, let me show you what this record player is, or let me tell you what the record player is. And the speakers, it was all basically one system that came to us, and the records followed. Okay, and the record player that I've been playing on is this guy. It's a Thorns TD 125K MK2. Okay, and I'm not that familiar with record players, so sort of this came to us, and we sort of looked it up, and from what we understand, it's a pretty good record player. It's fantastic. It's very nice to play. It's very, I've had other record players that I've played around with. I actually have 2 that are sort of in storage. I have to get them refurbished to be able to play them, but this is by far feels so much nicer than the other 2 I've played around with. The only drawback with this record player is when the needle goes to the end, the arm doesn't automatically pick up and come back, reposition itself, right? So you really have to be aware of what you're playing and really pay attention to the music, which is, you know, the negative is the hand doesn't automatically come back, but what it makes you do, it makes you really pay attention to the music. And that's one thing, because I hadn't been listening to albums. I've been listening to, like everyone else, for a long time now. For about 20 years I've basically been listening to music digitally, right? It was a pleasure. It was phenomenal going through the albums, because he was picking it up and looking at it and putting it down, and you can see the tracks of one song ending, going to another song. So there's a huge visual associated with the music you were playing, and because you have to keep track of when the album, each side ended, it just immersed me into the music a lot more. Okay, just to let you guys know that I just wanted to let you know how I'm going about this and what we're going to do. And basically what we're going to do is take a look at the music that I've listened to so far from my collection, and we're going to listen to this smaller stack of the music of this collection that made it my way. And I'm going to go through basically all the records here at some point, so maybe we'll do this again. So let me take off this record player. Boop. And it's got a beautiful, like, it just lifts up, right? Fantastic. And it's got a little hook, and you can do this, and it's got the multiple speeds on it and stuff. It's very nice record player. Great music. Okay, I'm just going to read some of the comments. Hey Chycho, hi Deb, finally caught a live. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing fantastic, man. Talking music and on a stormy day outside, it's there isn't much, you know, too much better than that, right? You're a bit early for me. I'm 7 a.m. Oh, good morning. Starting day with the morning. Sorry about that. Maybe next time, if we do, or when we do look at other records, we'll set the time a little bit later, so we catch you in the evening or in the afternoon maybe. Hi Chycho, 4:35 a.m. here in the UK. Yikes, I really should be in bed right now. Yeah, if you got stuff to do in the morning, go to bed. You can catch this on the recordings when I load them up to BitChute and YouTube, right? If you have stuff to do, otherwise crank some music. We're going to talk some music, right? How do you pronounce the word ether? I don't have my glasses on. I have to get closer. I'm sort of in between where I need glasses and I don't need glasses, so I'm not sure if that's either or ether. I wonder what a shark. Well, we got the random comments coming. I wonder what a fart shark. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because we had this happen last time with the math live stream we had some people show up that were commenting random stuff, and it was feeding onto the video when I was loading it onto BitChute and YouTube. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn off the chat box for the video going on top, okay? And I'll scan the comments every now and then when we're looking at the albums, and what we'll do, I'll read any comments that pop my way. And any users, anyone here that watching the live stream, if you think someone should be banned, please let me know who should I temporarily ban or pause or something like this, and please let me know how to do it. I looked it up, but I couldn't do it when I wasn't recording live, so I'm still new at this. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the chat box. Okay, so it's not going to appear on the video that we're going to load on. That's going to be permanent. Okay, so apologies to the people on Twitch that are commenting. Hopefully we will figure this out at some point. Okay, supposed to be snowed in anyway. Oh, it's supposed to be snowed in the UK. Awesome, awesome. Well, it's a good thing to be snowed in if you're getting up at 4:35 in the morning, right? I want to be banned. This guy is a volunteer. Okay, so let's look at the albums that I've listened to from my collection that made it my way. Now, when I was starting this, I pulled out a couple of albums that I wanted to listen to, and I looked at them, and they were a little dirty. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to clean the albums before I put them on the record player, right? So I did the search, and Elk Productions was kind enough to let me know how to clean the albums. So I cleaned the albums, that I did a test run on an album that I have 2 copies of. Okay, and let me tell you what this album is, and it's the first. And these 2 albums are the first 2 albums that they're the oldest albums in my collection. Okay, they're the first 2 albums that I've ever had personally, because we had albums as a family. We listened to music as a family, and I have some of those albums with me, right? But basically, this found its way to me as a birthday present when I was in elementary school. Okay, so I tried out the record player and how to go about listening to the music to make sure all the sound, everything was working out well with this album. And it's the Village People, right? Okay, and this is something that I got as a present in grade 6. Okay, I remember it well. And this is the back, right? You can think, I guess the thing going around was which one was your favorite, right? So I tried out the record player with this, and you know what? Fun album, fun album, fun album. And the reason I tried it out with this was because I have, like I said, 2 copies of it, right? So I'm assuming in 1979 or 78 or 1980, I think it was 79 or 78, the Village People were very popular. So this found its way to me, 2 copies. And I didn't, okay, we're gonna leave the albums like this. We're not supposed to stack them on top of each other, and I didn't make space to place the albums. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a little bit of space. So I'm gonna put the albums. Perfect. So let's do this. So as far as the Village People Go West is concerned, it was a fun album, but would I give it another whirl? Maybe for fun, maybe just for amusement, but not necessarily. I wouldn't give it another whirl. And the reason, one of the reasons I tried it out on the Village People was because this is the album I really wanted to listen to first, but I was scared of putting this one on the record player and without cleaning it properly and stuff like this. So I gave the Village People a test run, and this was Rush 2112, as we talked about in a previous video, where this is basically one of my favorite albums, one of the albums I've listened to the most, right? And it's a phenomenal album. And you can tell that I listened to this album a lot, because when I put it on the record player, it was a little wobbly, and it was in way rougher shape than the Village People. So, and there was a couple of scratches in it and stuff like this, Okay, and this is a phenomenal album, right? That's Rush right there. Fantastic. Would I give this another whirl? I think what I'm gonna do is I might try to get my hands on a mint copy of this and give it a spin without the scratches. Scratches there, scratches in the songs, because it was fantastic. Okay, one of the greatest albums ever created. Hey Chycho, first live stream I've been able to catch, but at least I've been able to see them on YouTube. Awesome, man. I'm glad you're seeing them on YouTube as well, and thank you for being here live. Okay, most people appoint moderators that they can trust to moderate chat for you, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, I guess we'll have to figure that out. I'm not sure how to even appoint moderators right now. I'll look that up as well. And that's sort of unfortunately when I appoint well, it's okay appointing moderators, but I don't want people to feel obligated to hang around throughout the whole live stream. If people are okay, please let me know. I'll look it up. I'll make sure everybody that's here. I know PW P Wilson, I believe you've been here a long time and you've been on YouTube as well, and I know Elk Pride Productions is here a lot. But if anybody wants to be a mod, please let me know and we'll set it up for the next live stream, which is going to happen tomorrow with the comic books, of course, right? But going back to, and as long as we're not getting too much noise, I'm okay without not banning people. I'm not really into bans. Oh, what is this? Okay, I guess we're getting some links and stuff, so I wouldn't recommend anyone click on it, clicking on a link. I'm new to Twitch, so I think some people have followed me to Twitch, so I wouldn't click on do not click. Yeah, do not click. How do you Wilson, do you want to be a moderator for this stream? Don't trust links, don't trust links, most definitely. DP, I know you both have been here before. If you guys want to be a mod, let me know, and let me know how to make you a mod. I don't know how to make mods. Should have looked this up, I guess, but we see. Don't click links, guys. Okay, so Rush 2112, and by the way I'm sharing this with you, the albums I'm showing you right now, this is in the order that I listened to them. Okay, the next album I listened to was Van Halen. Women and Children first. Okay, and this is one of the albums that made its way to me, or not made its way with me during the moves. And we used to have the Van Halen, the initial debut album. It didn't make its way to me. I don't know where it went. This was fun listen, but it wasn't as good as the first album. I like to give the first album another spin. Okay, add whisper. Let's see. Oops, sorry, I accidentally blocked you, DP, and I just unblocked you again. My apologies. You should have to type in chat mod X, X being a person's name. Oh, sweet. There should be a cancel symbol. I did of the name. I did cancel it. Oof. Name. Be careful who you moderate. Yeah, I know, that's the problem. They will have mod until you unname them and can ban people from chat and abuse power. Oops. Mod username. Whisper. Jake, take out of quotations. Whisper. This is a command. Okay, so I put that in there. Let's do it. Oops, let's put it here. Okay, guys, I'm gonna move close and do this. So Wilson, are you into becoming a mod? DP, I'm gonna make you a mod as well. Wilson, I will mod for you. Fantastic. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. I wonder if I can copy a name. Oh, I can't copy a name, I gotta type it. So let's do mod PW 22. Did that work? Invalid username. Okay. Let's see, mod username. Can I copy it? Oh, I put 22. Me and Matt. P. Well, 23. You have added P. Wilson as a moderator of this room. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Awesome. Good stuff. Fun. So Van Halen, good album. Really, I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't give it another spin. I would rather get my hands on the first Van Halen album, Van Halen, and give that one a spin. Okay. The next album, if there's a green logo next to my name, it worked. There is. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Wilson. Awesome. Twitch is a different beast than YouTube, and live streaming is a different beast than recording, and really enjoying the learning process. Just to give you guys a little reason why I decided to do 4 live streams back to back. As far as I'm concerned, the best way to learn is to do, and that's what I tell my students when I teach them mathematics, and I do practice that as well. So that's the reason I decided to do 4 live streams back to back, because it put the crunch on me to do the setups, to fine-tune this, optimize this, and to find out what type of snags I'm going to hit along the way, and this is one of them. Doing moderation of the chats, because I really haven't had to do this live. I've only live chatted on forums, right? And on forums it's easy because you're not doing video recording and stuff at the same time, you're just chatting, right? So thank you again to Wilson. Van Halen. So I listened to Van Halen and it was fun, it was a good sound, but I wanted something that I could really just appreciate and just take me back to a certain degree, and I want it to be fantastic. So I listened to Supertramp, Breakfast in America. This album is absolutely magnificent. I would give this album spin after spin after spin. Okay, just like 2112, one of the greatest albums ever created. Okay, I played it just to make sure it stood out the test of time, and it does, and it is fantastic. What an album, right? And I had this on tape as well, so I've listened to this album a lot. I've read the lyrics. I'm pretty sure the lyrics on here. Yeah, I've read the lyrics on the sleeve. This is one of the greatest albums ever created, and it's gonna go, once I organize all the albums, I'm gonna put them in a section where the section that I'm going to play a lot and a section that I'm not going to be playing a lot. Okay, fantastic album. The Van Halen album was released by Rhine Records, is really great pressing, sounds amazing. Yeah, it does sound amazing. The sound was fantastic, but it wasn't as grand. The music, maybe because the debut album for Van Halen was so powerful, was so new, it just stuck, right? For me anyway. After Supertramp, what I did, I listened to John Cougar Mellencamp, and I found out a little something about John Cougar, or John Mellencamp. I don't want to call him Cougar, because John, check this out, John Cougar Mellencamp, right? It was a fun album. I listened to Mellencamp a fair bit when I was younger, and this was a fun album to listen to. And I caught an interview of Mellencamp a long time ago. I can't remember when it was years ago, on, I don't know if it was online or TV. That's how long ago it was, right? And they asked Mellencamp if there was something that he regretted from his career as a musician, and the only thing he came up with that he said that he regretted was adding Cougar to his name, because when he went to the studio he was just John Mellencamp, and what the studio did, the corporation did, they added the Cougar because they said John Mellencamp wasn't catchy enough, so they wanted him to sound more powerful, more catchy, so they called him John Cougar Mellencamp, and that's what he regretted. He regretted giving in to the corporation and changing his name. But if he didn't do it, maybe they wouldn't have published his music, right? Maybe. Okay. And after, oh, listen to the whistle. Hopefully you're picking that up. Hopefully the mic is picking that up. Supertramp is this is a comment. Supertramp is definitely one of those bands whose catalog I've never dug into. I know the local. Oh, you know what? I can turn on the chat now. Oh yeah, that's right. Chat box comes up. Boop. Okay, so just because that chat didn't pop up, I'm going to read the whole thing to you guys, for those of you who are watching it on BitChute or YouTube. Okay, I should check them out. The album cover for Breakfast in America scared me when I was a kid. John Cougar Mellencamp's Scarecrow album, yeah, fantastic. It was the first tape I ever had. The Scarecrow album was amazing. That's the one that is this the scare? This isn't the Scarecrow album. This is the Lonesome Jubilee album. Okay, I think it was the Scarecrow album that really stuck with me as well. Maybe it was the first or second album. I don't know which one this one is. Okay, but after Mellencamp, it didn't really stick to me as powerful as Supertramp had, and as powerful as 2112. So I went to something that I know that I love, and I went back to Rush, Permanent Waves. Fantastic album. Again, one of the greatest albums ever created, right? Fantastic. And I gave this a spin, and it was so good. I wanted to give it another spin, but because there was a few albums that I found that I wanted to listen to, I gave a spin. I was still in the mood for Rush, so I dug into Rush archives, and these guys have shown you in the previous video where I said that, you know, that I love Rush and the reasons, some of the reasons why I love Rush, and some life recommendations that Rush has. So after Permanent Waves, I cracked this open and I listened to this anyway, and it's a triple album, and it's the first three albums from Rush, right? It's Rush, Fly By Night, and Keras of Steel, and they're very different, all three of them, and they're very good albums. Fantastic albums, really fantastic albums. How long have you been collecting records? Pretty sweet collection. Only record I have is Star Wars Empire Strikes Back soundtrack, back from the 80s. Oh wow, found it in my grandfather's place. Ah, nice, man. I found some albums. Some of these albums that I have are from my parents, and some are from my grandparents. There's a handful of from my grandparents. As for the record collection, I wouldn't, it is a collection, but it's I sort of tend to hold on to things that really matter to me, that I care for. I've let go of a lot of things that I didn't have sort of attachments to, but things that I had attachments to or have found their way to me, that were inherited or given to me by special people, I tend to hold on to, and that's how this collection has grown. Okay, as far as the next album I listened to, okay, it's a box set, and I hadn't listened to this for a very long time, even though I had listened to this artist a lot. Okay, I had when I went to digital in the early 2000s, or actually late 90s, I think late 90s, I went through a stint when I was listening to this artist specifically I'm going to show you, and there was a few albums that, a couple albums I was listening to, and there's a few songs from those albums that were in this box set, and it's a live box set, and it's Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band live from 1975 to 1985. Wow, wow, wow. One of the things after listening to this, one of the things I regretted from not seeing live was Bruce Springsteen. That I've heard he put on phenomenal shows, but after listening to this box set, I regretted not seeing him live even more. Okay, what a phenomenal, phenomenal box set. What a phenomenal, like, I will give this, this is on the same level as 2112, Breakfast in America. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. This I will definitely be setting up this space. We just have speakers, two speakers coming out. The next step in our sound system setup is to wire this, that we have surround sound speakers coming from at least 4 different directions, possibly 6 if we can manage it, set it all up. So in the summertime we can just crank it, right? We get more daylight, so it's a little bit more acceptable to crank music to later hours in the day, right? Bruce Springsteen live from 1975 to 1985. What a phenomenal album. Hey, what's up, Chycho? Finally caught a live stream, and it's my favorite subject, music and records. Awesome, awesome. Fast car. Now, after listening to Bruce Springsteen, and we're listening to Rush, we're listening to rock, right? Phenomenal rock music. I had a craving to go to one of my earliest loves when I was a kid. So we went to Abba. Okay, Abba's Greatest Hits Volume 2. Okay, I love Abba. Abba's fantastic. Even when I was going through a metal phase, I was a closet Abba listener because I couldn't tell my friends that I listened to Abba. Because that's not something you did when you were going to Iron Maiden concerts, right? It didn't happen. But I listened to Abba. I love Abba. Abba is one of the first tapes I ever bought. Okay, fantastic. And this is a great album, and I'll listen to this album again, most definitely. And Abba is one of the greatest music bands in history. I wouldn't call this one of the greatest compilation. I wouldn't call it one of the greatest albums ever created, but Abba is one of the greatest bands, greatest musicians there ever was, right? So I will definitely be listening to Abba again. Sup everyone. Nice. Now, the next album I listened to, I wanted to get away from the disco. I had one disco sound, it was good, and I wanted to listen to something that I've listened to a lot. Okay, and I don't know how many people will have listened to this album, because it's a Christian rock album. Okay, and this album I listened to a lot in the 1980s, like a lot. Okay, and in the 1980s something happened that there was a lot of Christian music coming on. It's just the born again Christian movement was hitting hardcore. They were getting into all genres, like even from disco scene, like Donna Summer, she stopped playing disco, started transitioning to gospel music. So there was a lot of gospel music coming on, a lot of Christian music coming on, a lot of metal Christian music coming on, a lot of pop Christian music coming on, right? Like Amy Grant was going huge and stuff like this. So this was one of the albums that I listened to when it came to Christian rock music. And Christian rock music gets a lot of flack. A lot of people don't pay Christian rock music enough respect. There was good music there. There was a lot of crap. Really, there was a lot of horrendous music coming out from the Christian rock genre, but there were some really good albums coming up. There were some really good musicians coming out. Okay, so I sampled some of them. I went through a period where I sampled some of them, and this is one of the ones that I listened to a lot, and it's called, and the reason I'm not showing it to you yet and talking about it, talking about Christian music without showing you this, because you won't believe who this is from. The album's called Slow Train Coming from Bob Dylan. Okay, I couldn't believe it when I came across it in the 1980s, right? Very good album. Would I listen to this again? Yeah, I'll listen to this again. There's one song in there, the last song. What's it called? It's called, let me pull it up. Animals. Where is it? Oh, it doesn't list it. It's the last album. It's the last song on A Slow Train Coming, and it's a fantastic song. Very fun song. Okay, so I would definitely listen to that again. Bob Dylan. Okay, Slow Train Coming. Since I was listening to Christian album, man, I honestly love Christian rock. Yeah, really. Bands like Striper, I've seen them twice live. Okay, once I saw them in Vancouver, another time I saw them in Los Angeles, and we had to drive for like 2 hours going off on some crazy town that's connected to the extension. I mean, Los Angeles, greater Los Angeles is huge. It's gigantic, so we had to drive for like 2 hours, went to this gigantic warehouse, and there was a ton of people there, and they put on a fantastic show. Okay, Skillet, Red, Switchfork, and all that stuff. Nice. There was some good music there. It was fun. I listened to, just before we start this live stream, I went to listen to Striper again, and I listened to it, and I wouldn't give them a spin again. They're not one of the greatest bands ever existed. They're not one of the greatest. They didn't create any of the greatest musical rock albums ever existed. In Christian rock, maybe some of the top 20 maybe, but man, they really had a sound. Like, when one thing that makes a musician is, if you hear just a small part of their music, you recognize them, right? And Striper is one of them. You hear just a small few seconds of them, and you'll know who they are if you've listened to them in the past. And they had a great stage presence, and their live performances were really good. They were fun, they were powerful, their licks are powerful, right? So after listening to Bob Dylan, which is a totally different Christian music, I listened to Daniel Amos, and this is another Christian rock band, and this was a fun album. It was a good album. Okay, I would give this one another spin, because it felt good, right? Nothing really stood out to me, but it had a great sound, and it was a good album, really. Okay, and this is a band, right? Daniel Amos, and this is called Horrendous Disc. Okay, fun album. I totally agree. They're not quiet, for example, Pink Floyd, but they're fun and they have energy. Yeah, 100%. That's a comment regarding Striper, right? Now, after listening to Daniel Amos, it has a sort of a, Daniel Amos sort of had a harmonic feel to me, like just nice sound. So what I did was listen to an album that I listened to a lot, and I actually, when I was learning how to play drums, the first song I ever learned, the first two songs I ever learned how to play were Sunday Bloody Sunday by U2 and Pride by U2. So Pride and Sunday Bloody Sunday by U2 were the first two songs that I learned how to play on drums. Sunday Bloody Sunday, both Sunday Bloody Sunday and Pride, were fantastic drum music to play. So much fun, especially Sunday Bloody Sunday. What a great beat to it, right? Nice military beat and consistent. So what I did was, I didn't have those earlier albums, or I didn't have I had War and all. I had all the early U2 albums on tape, but what I ended up doing, I listen to Joshua Tree. I pulled out Joshua Tree and listened to this, and this is a good album, man. Really, one of the greatest produced albums, and not overproduced. Okay, this was it's probably one of the, it's in probably some of the people's top 50 albums of all time, or 100 albums of all time, right? I would definitely give this one another spin. Okay, fantastic album, and their sound was really good. When they came out, they were very unique, very unique. Okay, and by the way, U2, one reason I transitioned into U2, because U2 to a certain degree had a Christian overtone, Christian rock overtone to some of their music as well. They were like, Pride is Psalm 40, I believe, is they take Psalm 40 and use some of the lyrics in Psalm 40 for Pride. I think it's Pride anyway. Joshua Tree, produced by all-time favorite non-musician Brian Eno. Oh, Brian Eno produced Joshua Tree. I didn't know. No wonder it sounded so grand, so phenomenal, eh? Wow, wow, wow. I love U2. Everything they've released is pretty incredible. Even to this day, you can't go wrong with Joshua Tree. Yeah, Joshua Tree was a fantastic sound. Okay, after Joshua Tree, I went I went disco. Right, Starburst 2-album disc. Okay, let me read you some of the people in this compilation. Okay, and this is the back, right? I don't know if the sleeve has I don't think it has anything on it. No, it's just, they're just paper. Okay, oops. But let me read you, I got my glasses here, let me read you some of the artists in this compilation, right? Going disco. Shadow Dancing by Andy Gibb. If I Can't Have You by Yvonne Elman. You and I, Rick James Stone City Band. Take Me Away by Prism. Eddie Money's on here, Bonnie Taylor's on here, James Taylor, Englehart, Robert Palmer. So it's sort of rock and disco, okay, sort of dance music. There's another Andy Gibb song here. There's Chilliwack here, Heatwave, OJ, Peter, whatever. So it was a fun album. I just wanted something lighter after Joshua Tree. Joshua Tree is a very, very heavy album, right? It's a very heavy album, very grand. Brian Eno producing it, that explains it, right? That explains it. Okay, so after Starburst, after listening to Andy Gibb, and I loved Andy Gibb. Even when I was going to Iron Maiden concerts, I loved Andy Gibb. I was very, very sad when he passed away. Really, it was unfortunate. I really liked his sound, I really liked his presence, I really liked just Andy Gibb, right? And what I did after listening to our Starburst, I hadn't listened to Andy Gibb for a long time. I listened to Bee Gees, right? I pulled out my Bee Gees album and listened to this. What a fantastic album! What a fantastic album. Okay, Spirit, let me read the name. I don't have my glasses on, I gotta put it on. Spirits Having Flown, that's what the album title of this one is, and it's a fantastic album. What a great album, very fun to listen to. Bee Gees. Right, and I will definitely listen to this album again. I won't, you know, Starburst is probably not going to go in the pile that I'm gonna listen to again and again, but this is 100%. And the song lists on here, does it have the song list? It should have the song list. There it is. Search, find. But anyway, it's a great album. Okay, very fun album. Bee Gees, Bee Gees. Okay. The next album. So I guess I had a little bit I had enough of disco, and I wanted to listen to another, just go a little bit pop rock, I guess. So I listened to Toto. Okay, I wasn't expecting anything from this. I haven't listened to Toto forever. I really haven't. I haven't listened to them maybe for 30 years. I haven't listened to Toto. This is 1980s, by the way, this collection. Okay, so I hadn't listened to these guys, so I didn't know what to expect, but I wanted to re-listen to them, right? Fantastic album, really. I'll give it a spin again just to have my ears hear it again, to make sure that it was that good. It was that fun. It was a fun beat. Maybe I was in a good mood. I don't know. I can't remember. I can't recall any of the songs I listened to, but I haven't listened to them for 30 years, right? So it's a fun fun album. Fun album. There's a few more comments. Bee Gees is the only disco band I know too well. I have had the album tape of greatest records for sure. I grew up with Bee Gees. My mom played them all the time. Bee Gees. Ever see the movies? Oh, Saturday Night Fever. I went to that movie by myself when I was in, like, I think grade 8 or grade, like, early, like when it came out or when it was on a rerun. I went to it by myself, right? And when I came out of that movie, wow, I was pumped. What a different world it showed, right? And it was fantastic, and it played the music. Like, I don't know how many people must have walked out of that movie strutting like John Travolta, right? Really, I wouldn't bought boots that had the same style as John Travolta's boots later on, when I could afford boots, leather boots like that. And yeah, Saturday Night Fever is absolutely fantastic. I don't know how many times I've watched that movie, and I'll watch that movie again and again. Fantastic movie. Get off here. Go. I guess that guy's getting banned. So after Toto, what did we do? I wanted to go to classic. I wanted to go to something that I've listened to a lot, something that I will continue to listen to, and a person that I've seen live. And I went to Tom Jones. Okay, fantastic. And just a little bit of history, if I think I have it right, is Tom Jones used to be a truck driver, and the opportunity came up, and he went on stage and he started singing, and it took off, and he became a singer, right? And he's one of the greatest. I'll listen to Tom Jones forever and ever and ever, right? Fantastic music, fantastic music. Okay, great album. I can't break the news to myself, too bad. Is Sandra Set Me Free? Yeah, Set Me Free, what a great song, right? So I listened to Tom Jones. It was a good little mix, going from disco to Toto to Tom Jones, right? Because after Tom Jones, what I did was listen to an album that blew me away. And Bruce Springsteen was one of the musicians that I regret not seeing live. Okay, I had the opportunity to see Bruce Springsteen, but I didn't go because I was low on funds or something. I didn't get a chance to go to it. This is another person. This album, this person is another musician that I had the opportunity to go see live, and I didn't. And he was playing, if you're in Vancouver, he was playing at a place called the Commodore. It was sort of a small place where it was sort of a bar type of setting, with a nice stage, wooden floor, really bluesy feel to it. And at the time in the 80s, it was it was it was the to go to place if you wanted this type of music. Okay, sort of bluesy style, lots of guitar. And yeah, it's very unfortunate I didn't get to see him. And it's Stevie Ray Vaughan, and this is the live album from Double Trouble, right? What a fantastic album. After listening to this, just like Bruce Springsteen, after listening to Bruce Springsteen, I regretted not seeing Bruce Springsteen live even more. I regret not seeing Stevie Ray Vaughan even more live, right? What an amazing show it would have been, and what a phenomenal musician. And I was very, very sad when he died. I believe he died in a plane crash, right? Soon after, actually. I believe it was soon after. I can't recall exactly, but he it's unfortunate that he died so early. He had a lot more great music to produce, just like Nujabes, right? Just like Nujabes. Fantastic album. Definitely will be listening to this again and again and again, right? It's on Post Malone. Good TV. The next album after Stevie Ray Vaughan, I was into rock, so I put on Rod Stewart. Blondes Have More Fun. Okay, just want to see what it was like. In the 80s, Rod Stewart was pretty big. He was almost as big as David Bowie, believe it or not, right? And I listened to it. It was okay, but I don't think this is going to go to my what do you call it? Listen to again pile. It was fun to listen to, but it really wasn't anything that I would consider phenomenal. Okay, I'm not sure how the ratings are on it. I'm not sure if people rate this as very high or not. Okay. The next album after Rod Stewart, I wanted a little heavy rock, right? After Stevie Ray Vaughan, I really wanted like heavy duty rock, something like powerful. So what I did, I listened to, I went back to Christian music, because Christian music has some of the most powerful music out there. And I listened to the Res Band, and this is the Resurrection Band. They went by Res Band, okay? And this album is Between Heaven and Hell, and I've seen these guys live twice as well, and they put on a good show. They were very small auditoriums they used to play, and it's very strong music, and it was exactly what I wanted after Stevie Ray Vaughan. Okay, it was a very good album, surprisingly so. I wasn't expecting anything. It was like Toto. I was expecting maybe cringe worthy, because I hadn't listened to this for a long time, but I was pleasantly surprised. It was fun. Not all the songs, but some of the songs were fantastic. I really liked it. I made a live stream. Hey Chycho, how are you doing? Rod Stewart was never my thing. A few good songs, but yeah, nothing too interesting. It's more my brother's thing. Yeah, there was some nice beats too in that album, but it wasn't phenomenal. It wasn't a phenomenal album. And what I did after Res Band, the Res Band, one side or about 3 of the songs I listened to again. So even though for 2112 I re-listened to 2112 twice, I put it on twice. For Res Band I listened to 2, maybe 3 songs again, and after that I had a nice fill of heavy rock, so I went back to Tom Jones. I love Tom Jones. I've seen Tom Jones, right? I took my mom to see Tom Jones, right? Fantastic, happy music. Tom Jones is phenomenal, really. If you just want nice musician, nice singing, nice personality. I don't know who he is, anything about his personal life or anything. I just know he was a truck driver, he became a singer, but his music is a lot of fun. Fantastic. Okay. Good album. And this is him singing classics, like re-singing some of the greatest songs in history, right? Which is a lot of jazz stage musicians like that. So those are the albums I've listened to from my collection. And what I did, I took a little break because I was really busy. I was sort of listening to albums was taking required focus, right? Because you need, for this record player, I need to know when it was ending so I could lift up the arm, right? Tom Jones from Wales. Tom Jones is from Wales. That's right, he is from Wales. Awesome. I like Welsh people. Same with the Irish and the Welsh. Interesting group of people to hang out with. Partied with some Irish and some Welsh. A lot of fun times, a lot of fun times. High energy. There's peaks with the Irish and the Welsh. After Tom Jones, I went to this collection. Okay, I went to these three boxes here. The blue box there, that's albums in there. This one and this one. Okay, and just flipping through one of them, there was some albums I hit, and I grabbed them right away without going through all of them. Okay, so after Tom Jones, we went AC/DC Stairway to Heaven, or Stairway to Heaven, Highway to Hell, right? So I went to AC/DC, and fantastic album. It stands out. Okay, very good album, very good album. Okay, excellent album. I think this is their second best album they put out ever. I haven't listened to all their music, okay, but this one definitely stands out. It's a fantastic album, and it was fun to listen to. And I had this on tape. I didn't have it on record. It was definitely nice listening to it on a record player. It's heavier. It was a great sound, and that's one thing. One thing that happens with a record player, the sound is heavier as long as you got nice speakers set up. And that's why we're gonna set up the multiple speaker system with the record player, because it gives us a nice heavy sound. So after AC/DC, what I wanted to do was spin AC/DC again, but luckily in this collection there was another AC/DC album, Back in Black, right? Wow, the camera is not liking the full black, right? So I'll hold it back here because it's not liking full black going towards it, right? Wow, the whistling of the storm here. What a fantastic album. As far as AC/DC is concerned, from all the albums I've listened to, this is their, as far as I'm concerned, their best album, and Highway to Hell, their second best album. Fantastic album. What a great album. I've listened to this a lot on tape. I had this on tape as well. Okay, and it will, both AC/DC, Highway to Hell, and Back in Black will definitely be in the loop, in the replay list. Okay, the wind picked up just in time for AC/DC. That it did. It must be good, as and especially transition from Highway to Hell to Back in Black. Eh? Wow. The next album I listened to, I was still in rock mood. Once you start listening to AC/DC, you want to kick it up, right? Their music really gets the blood flowing. The big two AC/DC albums, I can't pick a favorite. Yeah, you know what? I go with Back in Black just because. But after AC/DC, in this collection, talking AC/DC brings out the sound, eh? The wind picks up. After AC/DC from this collection, I went to Cheap Trick at Budokan. Okay, wow, what a fantastic live album. I had no idea. I listened to Cheap Trick when I was younger in the 80s, but I hadn't listened to Cheap Trick, just like Toto, for like 30 years. And what a great album to listen to Cheap Trick again. They're phenomenal musicians. Oh, the wind. They're phenomenal musicians, right? Fantastic musicians. And this was a great album, and I will definitely be listening to this album again. Okay, Cheap Trick. I'm glad I rediscovered them. Very glad I rediscovered them. Okay. After Cheap Trick, I came across another album that I have in my collection. Actually, two albums that I have in my collection. The same album what we started with I came across a Village People album in this collection, so I gave this one a spin as well, and this was fun. I didn't. The only Village People album I've ever listened to was the one I had, right? So this is Cruisin', includes the hit single YMCA. So I don't know if this is a compilation or not, or this is one of their original albums, but I listened to this and it was fun. Village People I'll listen to again, but I don't think it's going to go into, you know, loop collection, but it will go close to it, because I wouldn't mind listening to Village People again. Oh my god, I didn't get a notification, but yes, I finally got to watch you stream again. Oh, I'm sorry you didn't get a notification. I'm assuming Twitch maybe sends it out automatically. I don't know. I really don't know if it does or not. I'm assuming it does. I hope it does. I think I signed up for it. But what I've tried to do regarding notifications is sometimes I'm forgetting before the live streams, but I'm making notes as I'm doing these live streams. I'm learning more and more what needs to be taken care of, because when I'm doing things live is a different beast than recording, right? So I have to take care of a lot of things, so there's no restart. So what I'm doing right now is creating, and I'll share this with you guys, I'm creating a little to-do list before my live streams, and I put them in a comic board bag and board, and the idea is to basically tick things off, sort of prep time 30 minutes before and stuff. So what I'm doing 30 minutes before the live streams, I'm announcing the live streams on Twitch. So if you want to get an announcement, sort of a notification, maybe Twitch, through Twitter, announcing the Twitch live streams through Twitter, maybe sign up for the Twitter as well. But if there's something that I have to set in Twitch, let me know. Must be my iPod. Okay. After Village People, I wanted to go back to rock, right? I went ACDC, Trip Trick, Village People. We needed to go back to rock. So what I did was, in this collection I found Queen, News of the World, right? Nice album to go back to when you're starting back on rock, right? Queen is they're a great band, right? I listened to Queen somewhat. They weren't my to go to a band, okay, but I was exposed to them and I had friends that loved Queen, so I got to listen to a lot of Queen through friends. Okay, I never had a Queen album or a Queen cassette, but Queen, beautiful artwork, right? You know, there's people listen to a lot of Queen, right? And listening to this, it's a fun album. It'll definitely go on the pile that we will listen to again, because it deserves a spin, right? Nice album. The next album I listened to, take a look at this. Queen, fantastic band, fantastic guitar. Yeah, they're very good. Brian May, top 3 best guitarist sounds in my, oh really, people consider him to be top 3 guitarists. Okay, for me, I was a huge drum person. I really sort of leaned towards bands that had certain style of drumming that I really liked, either intricate or very powerful, very heavy. So that's one reason I really didn't listen to this next band very much, and I really don't like them, and I might get burned on this process. Okay, yeah, I listened to Queen because of Freddie Mercury. I like Queen because of Freddie Mercury, because of his presence, right? And I wish I saw Queen live. But as far as drums goes, the drums didn't do it for me when it came to Queen, and the drums didn't do it for me when it came to this band. So I didn't really listen to this band, and I really didn't like this band that I'm about to show you. But this album was in this collection, and I want to listen to it, and I'm glad I listened to it. And it's not that I don't like them anymore, but it's not my to-go-to group. And hopefully I'm not gonna get a lot of hate for this, but this is the Beatles, the White Album. So I listened to the Beatles, the White Album. Actually, I'm not gonna bring it too close. The camera might freak out again, right? So the Beatles, the White Album, and this is two albums. Was it two albums? I think it was two albums. Yeah, it was two albums, right? Bruce Springsteen, I think, was four albums or six albums. I can't remember. But Beatles White Album, it was a nice sound. It was fun to listen to, and I liked the last side, right? They experimented and stuff. It was fun to listen to. I didn't realize they had put out a whole side of an album where they were just experimenting with music, right? And I might give them another spin. I might give them another spin. Okay. My top three guitars are Neil Sach and Journey. Journey, yeah, I've heard Journey. I used to listen to a lot of Journey. System of a Down, most definitely System of a Down. I love System of a Down. I saw them twice live, and man, System of a Down is absolutely fantastic. I plan on making a video regarding System of a Down. I'm gonna make a video and tell you the first time I heard about System of a Down, just to give you guys a heads up, right? But that's not going to be live, that's going to be a recorded video, and I might do it sooner rather than later. One of the reasons is because a lot of people on YouTube comment that they didn't know Serge Tankian did comic book readings, or Serge Tankian did mathematics, or Eight Pomegranates and stuff like this. That's one of the earliest comments that's been made on YouTube videos that I've put out. And I wrote a review of System of a Down in 2006 when I saw them live, and I loaded that on my channel, on my website. It was one of the first articles I ever wrote. It took me a long time to write it, but I'll tell you all about that. If you want to read that review, it's on my site. You can just type in chycho System of a Down review and you can read it. But I'm going to make a video to tell you the story of the first time I heard about System of a Down. Okay, just a heads up. After the Beatles, the White Album, what I wanted to listen to was rock, Beatles style, but not Beatles, because I wasn't really into Beatles. So I listened to this album, and I'm very happy that I found this album in this collection, because I had this tape and I loved this tape, and I listened to this album a lot on tape. And it's Al Stewart, Year of the Cat. And Al Stewart deserves way, I don't know how much respect he gets within the music industry, but I don't hear too many people talking about Al Stewart, and he deserves way more respect and recognition than he gets from the people I've come across. What a fantastic album. I will definitely listen to this album again and again and again. I like this album. What a great album. I don't know how he stands in terms of, you know, reviews of this album, where it stands on the charts or anything like this, but this is one of the greatest albums of this genre I've ever listened to. What a great album. I don't think I have the tape anymore. I still have some of my tape collection. And Year of the Cat. And the Year of the Cat, read the lyrics to Year of the Cat. Listen to the song, The Year of the Cat. Okay, I believe it's the last song. Year of the Cat. I think, yeah, I think it's the last song. If my eyes are not deceiving me, last song on this album. Fantastic sound, fantastic sound. Very happy that it was in this collection. Okay, any music? System of a Down never released a bad album. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Any music that isn't processed like using a computer to make the sound instead of using real instruments is good music. It's well past midnight here. I should be going to sleep. I'll make sure to watch the rest of the stream on YouTube tomorrow. Good night, Chycho. Good night, man. Thank you very much for popping by. Thank you very much for popping by. Thanks for the great discussion. My pleasure, man. What I know about music, I'll definitely share. Year of the Cat featured prominently into the soundtrack for the film Running with the Scissors, the adaptation of Australian Burdova. I don't know that movie. Running with the Scissors. Oh, I'm gonna definitely write this down. Thank you very much for that. What I'm doing right now with the live streams as well, I'm taking little notes of things that people recommend, and I'm gonna follow up on these things. So I'm just gonna write this down. Running with scissors. Year of the cat. The cat. Nice. Thank you very much for that. How do you know how to use Twitch? Oh, looks like another band. Feels good, man. Feels good, man. Feels good. I hate everybody, he says, or his username. Hi, I hate everybody. The next album, Al Stewart, after Al Stewart, Year of the Cat, was. I'm very, very happy to have found this album in this collection. Okay, very happy to have found this album in this collection because I didn't have this album, but I had the tape, and I don't think the tape made it with me. And it's Andy Gibb, Shadow Dancing. What a fantastic album! What a fantastic album! I will definitely listen to this album again and again and again. Right? Great album. Great dance music. Very happy music. If you want to feel good, put on Andy Gibb. Put on Andy Gibb. Shadow Dancing. Fantastic album. I can't wait to crank this again. I want to set up 4 speakers, 6 speakers, surround sound, and crank this. Okay, very good music. After that, there's only 2 more left. Okay, there's only 2 more left. The next album after Andy Gibb that I came across in this collection, well, the one I wanted to listen to, there was a few other ones that I came across I wanted to listen to, but after Andy Gibb I wanted something a little heavier. Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. Right? Nice album. Nice album. Right? There's the back. Would I listen to this again? I would like to get some of their other albums, especially the ones with Ozzy. This is Ronnie James Dio. It's not a bad album. It's an okay album, but it's not their greatest album, not by a long shot. Greatest Black Sabbath is Ozzy Black Sabbath, as far as I'm concerned. And Sabotage, I think the album's called Sabotage. That's one of the first tapes. Tomita and Black Sabbath. Sabotage is Tomita's Planet, no, not Planets, Tomita's Cosmos, and Black Sabbath Sabotage are the first 2 cassette tapes that I bought with my own money. Okay, ever. And I love Black Sabbath, but I like Ozzy Sabbath, and this was a fun album. But I think instead of listening to Sabbath again with this album, I would like to listen to Sabbath with an Ozzy album. Okay, and after Sabbath, good old Black Sabbath. Yeah, Paranoid is my fab Sabbath record. Is it Paranoid? Is it Paranoid? That's the one with they're wearing it's 2 guys standing there with the flight suits on, with the masks on. I don't know if that's Paranoid or Sabotage. I think that's Sabotage, but Paranoid is a fantastic song. Fantastic song, right? Personally, Dio is the only other Sabbath vocals that I was really good besides Ozzy. Yeah, I did. Oh, Never Say Die. That's right. That's the Sabbath album, Never Say Die. I like that album. I don't think it's their greatest album, but it's raw. It's really good. It's really good. And as far as Ronnie James Dio, that's the only other Sabbath I've listened to as well, and I liked it. I like Ronnie James Dio. Ronnie James Dio's solo was very good, right? Rainbow in the Dark, I think Ronnie James Dio was Rainbow in the Dark, right? And after Sabbath, right, Sabbath really didn't do it for me, this album anyway, Heaven and Hell. If it was maybe Never Say Die, maybe it would have done it for me, right? So I kept on flipping, and I found some other albums that I would like to have listened to, but I kept on flipping, and I came across this, and I'm glad I listened to this. And it's a 4 album box set, and it's one of the greatest musicians that ever lived, right? And I've talked about this person before in the comic book videos regarding, and I've put her together with Nina Simone, and we talked about Billie Holiday when we were talking about Black, the comic book, right, from Black Mass and some other albums. And Yeah, I've talked about Billie Holiday a few times in my videos, and this was fantastic, fantastic to listen to. And it's 4 albums. The back is just black, and it's 4 albums. Okay, and it was very weird for these albums because what they did was side A, on the back of side A was side 8, and the back of side 2 was side 7. So it didn't go side 1, and on the flip side was side 2. It was 8 1 8 2 7 3 6 and 4 and 5, which was very weird. But it came with a little booklet, right? And it has, you know, sort of a write-up. I didn't read the write-up yet. Okay, and it was very good. Billie Holiday is heavy. It's heavy, very, very heavy. I like listening to heavy music, like heavy in terms of not sound but vocals, right? It was depressing, right? And I personally, if I want to feel a little bit upbeat, I don't mind watching depressing movies or listening to heavy vocals, lyrics when it comes to music. But after listening to Billie Holiday, this album, oof, I need a little break. I need a little break. It was very heavy. The words were intense. Her voice, you could feel what she was singing. It was very, very powerful. Okay, what was my favorite band? Slipknot. Yeah, Slipknot is very good. I've never had any of their albums or their cassette tapes, but I've listened to them digitally, and I've known people that listen to Slipknot, so I've been exposed to it. I've never gone off on them though. I should at some point. I can't get enough of them. Oh, I'll give them some spin. Slipknot. Let me write this down because there are musicians, there are bands that I've wanted to loop because a lot of people. Slipknot. Music. Okay. And Tool, of course. I've seen Tool live only once. Tool is absolutely amazing. Wow, wow, wow. One of the greatest bands ever. I love Tool. I haven't come across any Tool yet. I don't think there's going to be any Tool here. And I know there's no Tool in the collections back there. So to listen to Tool, I'm going to have to buy Tool brand new album. So slowly I think maybe I'll be acquiring more albums. There's a lot of bands, musicians that I still definitely do want to listen to. I would love to see Tool live is absolutely amazing. Really, I highly recommend it. System of a Down live is absolutely mind-boggling. I've never seen a auditorium all the way to the blues, all the way to the stands, stand up, raise their fists in the air, pound the ground, and sing the words to every song. It was insane when I saw System of a Down, and that was before mainstream really picked them up. It was when they released the double album, Mesmerize and Hypnotize, and for some reason when they released the first one, they hadn't really hit the big, you know, big stage in my area yet. So it was really hardcore fans. It was sold out by a long shot, but they didn't play in the big auditorium. They played in the little older auditorium that we had, and it was phenomenal. Corn is phenomenal as well. Yeah, Slipknot, Disturbed, and Linkin Park, yeah, are my favorite bands. I love all other bands, but they are the ones that stick out. Yeah, Linkin Park as well. Yes, Corn as well. And who's one band that got together that they had one tour, and it was Oysterhead, and it was the guitarist from Fish, Stuart Copeland from the Police, and Les Claypool. I think it was Les Claypool, the bassist from oh, what's the band called? I forget the band. Fantastic. Oysterhead was fantastic, and that band, that Les Claypool, I think it was Les Claypool, the Primus. I would love to get some albums. I don't have any albums. I would love to get some Primus and put it on here and crank it. Really, I want to see System of a Down so bad. They were in town when I was in Vienna, but it was sold out. Yeah, I've been a System of a Down fan for every scene.
them live would be a dream come true. Highly recommended. Also amazing band. Yeah, Primus I would love to see live as well. And I definitely want to get talking about System of a Down. I definitely would love to get some of the records and play them on here as well. Okay, so that's it. That's what I've gone through from the record collection so far. Fantastic going through this. It does require time. I do have to give the records cleaning. Some of these records don't have sleeves when I pull them out, so I have to go to a record store and get some sleeves and put them in sleeves, make sure I protect them and create, you know, organize them a little bit better. So there's a lot of work to be done still, but once I think when we set up the sound system a little bit better and I have a chance to go through a little bit more of this collection, I think we'll come back and do another live stream and talk a little bit more music. There's a couple more comments. Primus, I'll give them a listen later tonight. Claypool, Delirium are great live as well. Lennon Claypool Delirium, I don't know that. Lennon Claypool Delirium, I'll look that up as well. Thank you for the recommendation. It was phenomenal when I saw them. When I saw Oysterhead, it was my jaw dropped because I love the Police. The third song I ever learned, just since we're on the topic of the Police, the third song I ever learned how to play on the drums was a Police song, and it was wrapped around my fingers. It was fantastic. It was fantastic learning how to play drums Police style, right? Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. It's Les Claypool and John Lennon's son as a duo. Oh, John Lennon's son. Okay, Lennon Claypool Delirium. Okay, awesome. I'll give them a listen. I'll track them down. Okay. Aside from that, everyone, thank you very much for popping by. Tomorrow we have a live stream as well. If you're able to come by, it's at 2 p.m. My time. If you're able to come by, live stream as well, it'd be fantastic. I'm assuming we might need a mod again as well, but what I'll do, I'll do the same thing again because I haven't had time to contact people to see if anyone's willing to mod for the live stream. But for tomorrow's session, we'll go modless unless someone volunteers to mod that's shown up that I recognize the names and stuff. And we'll do that. Okay, but we'll fine-tune this process and continue to do live streaming. I'm really enjoying this and I'm learning a lot. Definitely it requires a certain mindset to do this live streaming, and I love the challenge. I definitely love the challenge, and I love the interaction. The interaction is phenomenal. Learning live for me as well, and all the information that you guys are sharing. Thank you very much for that. Just read a couple of more comments. So jealous you saw Oysterhead. Been in love with their album ever since your recommendation in that video. Yeah, I was very lucky. I just got, a friend recommended it through another friend who's a huge musician, and he keeps track of who's coming and going, so he passed on the word. And it was a very small stage, it was a very small auditorium, right? It wasn't even like full pavilion. It was like a stage where they do plays. It was incredible. I'm glad to be able to join this stream. Have a great night. Good night, Cryptic. Good night. Thanks, Chycho. Gonna come tomorrow's stream. Nick Whispers, thank you very much for Whispers. Thanks for being here. I'll definitely be at the stream tomorrow. Awesome. I'm so looking forward to looking at the comics. I cracked open the box just to organize the comics so they were sitting properly, but I haven't cracked open the packages, right? So I'm dying to see the comics. And what I've done, just to give a heads up regarding the stream tomorrow, I've also pulled, if you look behind me, there's a table back there, and I put some comic books on there, some trade, because people have been asking me to show you guys some of the trades that I have. So I have some of the trades, special trades that I have that I bought in my collection, just like 3 or 4 of them, and I've put aside some comics that I'm reading just to do some recommendations of comics as well, just in case, we go through the comic book haul pretty quick, because there's only, I think 9 lots and 174 books or so. Okay, so that's about it. Thank you very much for joining the stream and helping us to work through the glitches that we're having, and working our way through this thing. And I guess if you guys are going to show up tomorrow, for those who are going to show up tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow. If not, I'll see you guys in the next stream, next video. Okay, hope you guys have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.